What's going on, everybody? I just wanted to come on and chat with you real quick. Sit on the couch and just chat. So I'm gonna get my plants here, because who doesn't love a good plant? I wanted to chat today about you are more powerful than you even know, and why most of you are feeling this disconnect or this fear of like letting go, or this fear of going forward. And full transparency, I will tell you that I was a total all or nothing believer. Something bad would happen, or something that I thought I had all figured out at one point in my life would come to a head, and I would go, oh, forget it. And then I would just like write it off, whatever the situation was: money, relationships, business, family, you name it. And all of it was a sense of trying to control the situation. And even now, like, we're going to be offering our community more things. And at one point in my career, I was like, no, if things aren't done the way I want them to be done, then that's it. We're not doing this. And I'm not helping those people. And I, over the last year of sitting with myself and having a lot of just talking to myself and talking through things, I realized a lot of those things just came from control. A lot of those things came from me trying really, really hard to do it the way I know how to do it, as opposed to realizing that, again, this is what I teach every day. And it's hilarious at this point, because when I look back on my life, I'm like, oh my God, how did I not realize this? Or how did I, get to this point where I was so close-minded, or so, everything has to be done my way. And it's so funny, because I am here, and, my staff is here to meet people where they're at. We're not here to judge you. We're not here to, we are here to obviously push you out of your comfort zone a little bit. We are here to, and by a little bit, I mean just make you aware of your patterns. And even when it comes to nutrition and being a clinical nutritionist, being in this field, it is my job to some degree to, give you a little bit of accountability and responsibility, because this is your life, right? And if there's one thing that I've done in 20 years, I've fully transformed my life from the inside out, right? Like, I've looked at things in my life that were very scary to look at. I have addressed things in my life that were very scary to address. And I continue to do that, but they're not as drastic anymore. But if there's one thing I can tell you, it's that you need to face these things. You can't be afraid to look at them. You can't be afraid to point them out. You can't be afraid to talk about them. And the thing that I've found and seen in people, and I've also seen in myself in the past and also current, is our brains. Guys, there's a guy that I've been listening to recently. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's brilliant. And we don't talk to our brains enough. Like, we don't tell our brains they're safe. We don't tell our brains, hey, you're good. What do? We talk crap to our brain. We talk like shit to ourselves, and then wonder why we're in these positions, and wonder why we're in so much fear and all these things. And it's like, oh my God, this is crazy. And a lot of it is because, one, we've been programmed, but two, it's because we're looking so far into the future. And when you look too far into the future, or when you're always looking at like, what's going to happen next, and that's the thing that I think is so funny about, I'm not claiming anything. I'm not trying to invalidate anybody, but the thing that I've seen in helping people is that when people look too far into the future, what does it cause? It causes anxiety. And a lot of people who look like a year into the future, you are highly functioning in anxiety, right? Again, no claim. So before anybody starts to chop off my head about it, I'm not claiming anything. I'm just saying I was a very anxious person, and I still have moments of it. But I've noticed that the only reason why I have moments of it is because I am constantly, whenever I have those anxious moments, it's because I'm looking into the future. I'm trying to control something. I'm trying to attach myself to a certain outcome or a certain person coming into my life or a client or whoever. And then when I finally just let go, I'm like, oh my God, why did I do that? Control or fear or my brain is just used to that, right? So my biggest thing here is that when you can start to control how you think, and by that when I say control, I mean when you can let go of the old way you think to move forward into the new. And that's why I think so many people are feeling like a little unstable and feeling like angry, frustrated, things like that. It's because you're moving forward into a new person. And again, I can't describe to you enough, guys. I've transformed so much of who I am willingly because I wanted to, but also I think because I knew deep down like I needed to. But transformation is not an overnight process. It is a lifelong process. And if you're always attached to the outcome, or if you're always attached to how something has to happen as opposed to just like going with the day and enjoying it and allowing yourself to feel whatever comes up. And if you have a team of people, talk about it. Or if you have a spouse, talk about it with them. I think we for so long have been like taught to push down or taught to not express how we feel. And then it comes out in these like very intense emotional breakdowns. And I think it's because we're conditioned to not express ourselves. So if there's one thing that I have learned, it's that no one's journey is the same. I'm here to guide people. I'm not here to perfect people. Or I'm not here to, put my, even though I give advice and I give guidance, I'm also here to say, how do you feel about it? Where do you resonate? What resonates with you on that? And if something resonates, great. And then they can make action and take action on that, right? But so much of transformation involves letting go of your past. It involves the death of who you were to become something new. And I know that's really scary. And trust me, I have had tears. I have had breakdowns. I have had many conversations with my friends, and I've had many conversations with some family members that that I trust and I know aren't going to judge me or anything like that. And I can tell you, it's kind of like relieving when you start to have people in your life who you can just talk to, and you can have like heart to hearts. Because guess what? The reason I think it's so funny, I was listening to this, again, another guy. I've listened to enough people at this point. But I was listening to this other guy, and he was like, we've been taught that, like, even in school, like, we've been taught, like, tests. You're taking tests by yourself. You're doing all these things alone, isolate. You don't study by yourself. It's like all these things. And it's like, guys, I can't tell you at this point, 36, I just turned 36, and I'm like, I could not do my life without the people in my life. Like, we are a team. Like, every person that I think about that I'm like, if I didn't have her for this, if I didn't have him for that, if I didn't have, the XYZ, if I didn't have these people in my life would be so much more difficult. And it's because some people have lived different experiences, and they've lived different things. And I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about, like, I know people in their 20s who are multimillionaires. I know people who are in their 50s who are killing it, but have been through the ringer. Like, everyone, if you look at it and you choose to look at it in the way of, like, everyone has something to offer you. And if you look at life in the way of, you don't need to control so much, and you don't need to be so afraid of living. And it's also okay to let go of who you used to be. That was the biggest fear that I had, was, oh my gosh, are people going to judge me for being this new Matt, this new version of Matt, who I love, by the way. A little sassier, a little bit more direct, and a little bit more just like, I don't really care, and not like I don't care about people. I just don't care if people don't like me anymore. And I can actually say that for the most part. It's like 90% there, right? But what I'm saying is, don't be afraid to be disliked. Don't be afraid to, and I mean that from your friends, your family, your colleagues, whoever. Don't be afraid to make your own path, and to, even if you've been doing the same career or with the same friends forever, and you just feel like something's off, step away from it. You don't need to, at first it's going to feel really scary. So this is what I tell people all the time. do things slowly. Even if you think it's slow, do it 10 times slower, because almost always, especially in America, we do things so fast that we don't even give ourselves a chance to breathe or like enjoy the process. We're always just trying to like figure it out all the time, and like some things just aren't figure outable. So just relax. It's gonna be all right. And I know Annette, whenever anybody says relax, you're like, oh, I can't relax. You can. It's just like you have to talk to your brain and tell yourself it's okay. So I hope this helped. Again, transformation is something that is a lifelong journey. There's nothing to quote unquote figure out. Things just happen, and you'll move the universe and God will help you move through these things. But you just need to, one, trust yourself and trust your gut instinct, because we all have that, and I think we've been kind of pushing that down for too long, in my opinion. And don't be afraid to like move to the next level. And if the next level is slow, it's okay, guys. You don't need to do everything so fast. I think again, like even with like weight loss, health, money, generational wealth, all these things that are being pushed, it's like slow down. Slow down. I know people who are going through like major health problems right now, and I'm like, guys, and they're like, I'm gonna conquer this. And it's like, okay, but what if you just accepted the fact that you have whatever, move from it, and don't claim the problem, don't claim the disease, just move forward. It's okay. It's okay to just acknowledge where you are so that you can move forward. Sometimes like we're so busy trying to like fight the thing we almost go into so much resistance with it because we are so keen on being the conqueror, the fighter, the victor. It's like sometimes you just need to be. Sometimes you just need to be okay and be where you're at and not try so hard. And trust me, I know, again, all or nothing guy here for probably 15 years and maybe longer. And it's something we still work through and that I still work through. I had a moment of it today. I was like, oh, screw it. And then I was like, wait. So like what I'll tell you is it's about the timing, the time lapse too. Like think about a year ago when you first started transforming, or a year ago when you first started a journey of anything. At first it was very you were very quick to make judgments or very quick to do something, and then slowly but surely you started to go, something's wrong here, I don't like that. And then it like, so your lapse was faster, or the way you caught on to something was faster. So take that as a win. And I think oftentimes we don't really celebrate wins. We're always looking at what we didn't do right. So I hope this helps you. I hope you find that you are able to help your transformational journey a little bit more, and realize that transformation is just something that takes time. And it's something that, again, like there's so much information coming out now too with all these new technologies and things like that. All I will say to you is take everything with a grain of salt, because there's too much information coming out at this point, and it will be overwhelming. And I'm sure most of you are overwhelmed. And we are here to also, at least in terms of the health side of things, the holistic side of things, we are here to help you demystify some of those things, because not all things are as they seem. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope you have a great night, and I will talk to you soon.